Howdy folks, welcome back. It's the Tall Turtle here, and yes, there's a flight sim video, but first I want to thank everybody that we reached 1,000 subscribers as we hang out here in Walker, Minnesota for a flight. Hopefully everybody's watching, not just flight sim folks, but this is my 1,000 subscriber video, as well as a flight video. I was going to make a separate video for the 1,000 sub thing, but as you all know, I'm not really one to like count subscribers and count views and all that. I just fly and race, play Minecraft and do textures, and I just do whatever, and whoever wants to watch can watch, and I appreciate each and every one of you. But that being said, 1,000 subscribers is kind of a big deal in this very niche flight sim genre, because you have to remember that's how this started. So even though I'm doing different videos now, this was a flight sim only channel. In fact, it was an X-plane only channel, which is very specific. And because of that, and that's the foundation of all this, 1,000 subscribers is kind of a big deal. So I just wanted to say thank you to everybody, 1,000 subscribers. You probably won't hear me mention subscribers ever again. Well, maybe if we hit 1 million, haha, or whatever, 100,000, whatever the next thing is. But I really don't expect that ever to happen. So thank you for the 1,000 subs. I'll never mention it again, and I'll probably never mention view counts again. I'm just doing that because I enjoy it and people enjoy watching. So there we go. A few little factoids though, in case anybody's interested. I hit 1,000 subscribers on July 7th. There's some debate on who my 1,000th subscriber was. It was either an Australian Minecraft friend of mine or my own child. It's up for debate, but it happened at 6:31 p.m. my time. I only know that because my kid noticed that I was at 999, and then he subscribed, but so did somebody else. So not sure who the 1,000 subscriber exactly was, but I do know when it happened, just because my kid was paying attention. I started this channel 4 3/4 years ago, which for some people that's a long time to be still unknown, especially since my most common comment is, why don't you have 100,000 subscribers? Why don't you have 1 million subscribers? And I appreciate those comments, and it's very flattering. On the one hand, it's like, hey, why don't I have more subscribers if so many people like it? But at the same time, I'll take what I can get. And like I've said in the very first day, if one of you watches these videos, then one of you watches these videos. If I get 100,000 views, I get 100,000 views. Whatever, doesn't matter to me. I'm doing it because I enjoy it. I'm doing it for the right reasons. I just happen to have 1,000 people who like me. Let's see what else. My most popular video by a long shot isn't even a gaming video. It is my bearded dragon tank vivarium video that I gave a little tour of my homemade enclosure for my bearded dragon. At the time of this recording, is that like 39,000 views or something? It's my most popular video by a long shot. The next most popular I think is 12,000. I think it's the RW Designs Twin Otter version 2. I think at the time of this recording. You never know. I might put something out there that people like even more when you're watching this. Who knows? And the last thing I want to mention before I get on with our flight is I did turn on monetization just because some of these videos are actually making me money. Only a couple bucks. I only, like I think the Dragon Tank made like $3 in a week or something, whatever it is. So I turned it on just so that I can start buying some airplane stuff. So if I get, they only pay you in like $100 increments or something. So if and when I get that first $100 check from YouTube, I'll claim the taxes or whatever you got to do, and then maybe buy an airplane. So if there's an airplane you want me to buy, put it in the comments, I guess. I can't guarantee I'll buy it because I might never get that $100 check, but that's why I turned on monetizations. So thank you for sitting through a few videos at the beginning of my video so that I can buy airplanes and stuff. At 1,000 subs now, maybe people will notice me and send me stuff to try out. I know people really, really love my cold and dark videos. They love my style. I haven't done one in a while because I haven't had a new airplane to do a cold and dark. But if anybody sends me something and wants me to do a cold and dark, I will. I know people enjoy it, even though I feel like I have no idea what I'm doing, but people find them very helpful, and they favor them over other ones. So thank you for that. Otherwise, we're just going to keep making videos. I'll make airplane videos when I can. I'll make racing videos when I can. I'll be doing the Minecraft texturing, a few more of those. I'm almost done texturing Minecraft up to date. And Minecraft videos, once the Paul Source Junior server changes to 1.16, I'm going to start a new season there. So, if you haven't checked out those other subgenres of leisure gaming, I would check them out if you want to. Otherwise, don't. I think that's all I was going to say, so that's why I included my thank you for 1,000 subs to be this video, because I wasn't going to make like a 3-minute video. My time is too limited to make a bunch of short ones. So here I am. I'm going to fly Leech Lake, Walker, Minnesota. Taking off a Walker Municipal in the default Cessna. I know we just did a default Cessna flight, but what other appropriate airplane? Because when my family was driving up to a resort, so yes, this is going to be a story time video. I know some of you actually missed these videos. Others of you have forgotten about them. But as my son and I, because we drove separately from the other family for various reasons, when we drove up, we saw a Cessna 172 revving up to take off from the runway you actually see on your screen right now, coming towards us as we drove by on that highway, which is 371 in the mid-ground. So I'm like, why not fly this airport with the airplane that I saw with my kid? And then there's Leech Lake in the background. The resort is right on the left. If you look at your screen right now, the left edge of the screen where the lake is, that is where the resort is, Hiawatha Beach. We were there for a long 9 days with my wife's family. There are 15 of us crammed into a cabin. Oh boy. And not that I'm going to give away too much, but my wife and her sister finally had the fight I thought they were going to have 20 years ago. Yeah, it was a long week. I don't think any family members watched this video, but if you do, you know what I'm talking about. That's all I'm really going to say. I'll talk about the vacation during our flight, because that's what this video is going to be. It's a story time video. But I'm not going to talk about the nitty-gritty cat fighting between my wife and her sister. They've started to make up already, but yeah, it was a long week. Otherwise, real weather's turned on. It's like 9 a.m. in the sim. And let's see, what else? I'm flying on my new desk. My work made me go into the office. So I used my work from home desk as my flight sim desk. And then work said, whoops, we weren't supposed to let people into the office to go home. But I also have a medical note to work from home, which HR is still fighting me on. I'm not fighting very hard, but my manager and my coworkers can't believe I even went into the office for one day when they saw me. So that's a story we're not going to get into. What I'm saying is, yet again, I've rearranged my studio. So I think I got my microphone set. I think the sound is good from when I did my test. And my keyboard is way too far away from my hotkeys, which I have to adjust. My mouse is in a good spot. Everything else is in a good spot. Whoops, I just smacked my work computer. Alrighty, so anyway, we are going to take off. Let's see, we talked about the 1,000 sub thing. I told you we were in Walker. We're going to fly over Leech Lake to the Hiawatha Beach. Hiawatha Beach Resort. It's going to be story time today. It's not going to be a very long video. Well, whenever I say that, it ends up being really long. Whoops, got to turn on my volume so there's no bleed. And I think that's all I needed to say. So let's get this thing started up. Close the doors. Parking brake set. What's my parking brake key? That one. My mouse is in the middle of the screen. Sorry. Reset controls. I actually already did that off camera, but there we go. Let's get our friend Mr. Austin. There we go. Is my field of view screwed up? It is. Every airplane is different. I normally do this off camera, but let's just do it on camera since we can. Either on 60 or 72, depending on the aircraft. This is a 60 aircraft. Actually, it's not 60 either. We're going to go 60 on this one. There's so much debate about field of view. Holy cow. I'm not going to get into it right now. Weight and fuel. For this aircraft, we do through the menu. So weight and balance. I'm not running 1150 yet. My understanding is still in beta at the time of this recording. So I'm not running it. Let's just keep it like this. We're not going to fly that long, but let's keep it. There's your weather, turned on your location, and rule of time 904, and delivery I've never used before. Fuel selector is always on both, but we like to check for the simulation. Shut off, close it always is, but we check for the simulation. Battery and alternator on. Strobe and beacon, where are you? It's been a long time. Strobe and beacon, fuel pump, over here somewhere. Mixture rich, throttle quarter of the way, confirm avionics off and start her up. There we go, sounding good. Sync the gyros by hitting Y on the keyboard. You will see if you look, this is going to spin around, boom, which means it lines up with the whiskey compass, right, Austin? Yes, mixture lean so we do not ruin the spark plugs. Avionics can come on now. Flight plan, we don't have a flight plan. We are doing 100% VFR. We're just going to take off from Walker, which is Yankee 49, fly around. Maybe we'll fly it and land at a nearby airport. Maybe we'll land here. I don't know. We'll just figure it out. This crap is, I should clear the flight plan though because there's still something else in there. Menu, delete, flight plan. Thank you. Good. Get out of there. This doesn't matter at all. I just like it green. Let's do GPS. Radio's nothing to tune, nothing to do anything. Altimeter, weather, barometer, weather. Yes. Let's get it. Road weather is turned on, so we have to check this. It says light and variable, so we'll take off on 32. That's one we're closest to. 2987, 2992. So that's 29198.7. I know I skipped. I said the numbers wrong. There we go. Can you count backwards? No, I can't. All right. So 32 is gonna be right here. So it's a straight out taxi. Simple as that. Here's the lake. 371 goes here. Steamboat Road goes here. Hiawatha Beach Resort is right here. We'll fly there and see what it looks like in the sim. I'll talk about paddle boating out to this island and stuff, and that the water's only 5 feet deep for this whole Steamboat Bay, and the weeds go all up to the surface. It was nasty. Anyway, we'll talk about that because it is story time. We might land over here at Min 12. I don't even know what that is. Robco. I don't know what that is. I will look it up after this video though. We might land there. That's quite a ways away though, or we might just come back to here. And there's Leech Lake in its entirety. And Mille Lacs is down here, and Upper Red and Lower Red are here. That's where we are. In case you were wondering where in Minnesota we are. Not that many of you were, but I bet some of you did. Okay, taxi lights. Holy moly, flaps down 1 notch. Confirm lean mixture, begin taxi. So, taxi view it is. Mouse out of the way, parking brake off. I like this livery. Let's see. Actually, we can't even go out that way. We have to go out this way. They do a little back taxi. I think. Where's our... What? There's no road. Oh, yeah. This is the one where it's underground. So we're just gonna taxi kind of like this. See how there's yellow lines in front of the nose? See that? But it's all underground. It's because whoever did this airport did it in such an old version. I know the taxiways to our right, but it takes a lot to go in grass. Whoever did it either did not do an exclusion zone for a train, or they didn't flatten the train, or it's just an old version didn't convert very well when they did the 3D airport, so sometimes it ends up underground. I could go into the sim and flick a few switches and probably fix it, but it's not that huge of a deal because then other stuff gets messed up. So we're just gonna give it a lot of juice here because there's a lot of friction when it's on the grass. So we should stop here and get our lane lights on and some other lights on, but I'll never get going again. So we're just gonna get onto the runway. There's no one here. Come on. There we go. So this is where my son and I saw the Cessna in real life taxi out as we drove by. And there you go. Let's stop and set that parking brake, hop back inside. And what else do we need to do now that we should have done on the runway that we didn't because of the grass? Landing lights on. Taxi lights off. Nav lights on. Where are you? Pitot heat on. Trim, confirm flaps, confirm fuel pump, confirm trim. I already said that. Heading bug. Is this push to do heading? No, but we're gonna. Why does it always go opposite? I found out why the other day. Why it does that, and I can't remember why it does that. It's like holding versus sliding are two different things or something. There we go. 32 degrees runway heading. What are we gonna do? Start the clock, I guess. So we get our flight time. And that should start counting. There we go. Alright, mixture rich. Props don't matter. Parking brake off. Let's go. Oh, oh, lottery rudder. I mean, it should torque. It's supposed to torque in real life. So here we go. Oh my goodness. Let's get this under control. There is 40. And we're going to lift off right about now. There we go. Step on the brakes to stop those wheels from spinning. Fix gear so there's no gear. Flaps can come up. The lake is to our right. But we're going to get some altitude here before we turn out there. Okay, so we're just going to fly around a little bit. We already talked about the 1,000 sub thing. So we're just going to fly around, have some peaks, enjoy the scenery, and chit-chat a little bit. So, story time. So, 11 years ago, my wife's family, we all went on a cabin trip. We had 12 people crammed into a teeny tiny cabin. And we said never again. So then 4 years ago, 12 of us went to a water park hotel, crammed into a 2-room suite, and said never again. Then this year, a couple months ago, my mother-in-law said, I want to do a cabin, and everybody agreed for some reason. And we crammed like 13 people, I think it was 13 people, into a 4-bedroom cabin. And it was pretty intense. Okay, so this is Steamboat Road here, and here's a resort here. See that beach? Of course, it's not really modeled, it's just autogen, but there's a resort here with campgrounds, RV sites, tenting sites, and a big beach pretty much right there. And then a lodge and a resort and a bunch of cabins. And we took paddle boats and things and kayaks and went out here and played around, stayed out of other boat traffic. In fact, actually, this right here is really water. That's the slip where if you bring a boat, you park your boat in the water here while you're staying there, and then when you're done, you take it out of there. Oh my kid just wanted Fortnite and he's screaming. And then this is somebody's, like, the people who live here, this private residence, there's their slip, and then they own the resort. And that's that. Let's hop outside, actually. There we go. You can see the report behind us too. Oh boy, let's zoom out a little bit. There we go. So that's resort. So anyway, we all went. It was crazy. I had some reservations about it, and my reservations were well founded. And it was intense. And between the drama and the stress and everything, it made my fibromyalgia flare up. So the past 2 weeks, because this was 2 weeks ago, the past 2 weeks, my fibromyalgia has been the worst it's been in a very long time. And when I say fibromyalgia, everybody thinks pain. Of course, pain for me is part of it, but there are 150 recognized symptoms of fibromyalgia, and I have like 149 of them. And it's been really bad the past 2 weeks. It's been really bad. I guess that's one reason why I'm flying tonight, is I can distract myself a little bit. But I attribute the pains to that cabin trip. It was pretty crazy. All right, let's level off. Actually, let's trim to keep our speed up and not just bring back throttles. Let's keep those throttles cranked and just trim it out to speed up and stay level. Otherwise, let's talk about some positive things about the trip. Because there were so many adults around, I ended up having some alone time with each child, which is a big deal in our family. Both my children fight for my attention as though I'm gone 100% of the time, which is funny because I work from home. They're home for summer. They'll probably be home for school again. And they see me during my breaks. They see me during my lunch. They see me after work. They see me before work. I put them both to bed still. They see me in between. I make them dinner. I clean up after them. I go outside with them after dinner. All these things, but they act like they never see me. So they're both clinging to me during the trip. And I still was able to find alone time with each of them. I took one out on a paddle boat alone. I took the other out on our own kayaks alone. I'm pretty proud of how capable my children are when they have to be. So I'm the tail end of Generation X. I'm not a millennial, but I am the tail end of Generation X. So we're the generation of parenting where, because we were left to our own devices at a very young age, my generation, most of us, we're kind of overcompensating unintentionally with our own kids, and we're doing too much for them, that type of thing. I feel like my wife and I have a pretty good balance, though, compared to other people in my age bracket and what they do for their kids. Holy cow, spoiled bratty kids. But anyway, we try to not be like that, but we do probably do too much. So, like, for example, my 12-year-old can't cook anything, but when I was 9, I had to cook for my sister because my parents were never home. You know, that's just how it was. Generation X, the forgotten generation. People forget our generation existed, and our parents forgot about us. So, twofold there. So, my point being, when I had my kids out in canoes and kayaks and paddle boats, they were just fine. All these people were like, you should have let them do. I'm like, no, my 12-year-old will go out on a kayak in choppy water on a windy day. He will be fine. Just watch it. He's perfectly fine. I have a lot of boating experience. I know what the limitations are of the boats and my children, and everybody was perfectly fine. In fact, we went out on a glassy day, and they were bored out of their minds because it was too nice. So everything was fine. My wife spent some time with her sister and mom, maybe a little bit too much time, and then I hung out with my bestie outlaw. So the other sister-in-law, who is married into the family like I am, she's my outlaw, she's my bestie. We have lots of girl talk, lots of girlfriend time, even though I'm not a girl. Lots of girlfriend time, and she's a decade younger than I am, so we get along like two goofy 12-year-old boys. Oh my gosh, people were so sick of us, but to make up for all the stress of the trip, yeah, we were a little on the obnoxious side. No drinking or anything, you know, none of us are drinkers. No drinking or anything, just naturally giddy and goofy and happy. And once she showed up halfway through the trip, I didn't care what drama was going on. We stuck together like glue. We took over to the parenting of our own children, so we were with the kids and stuff, and oh my goodness, it was fun. And we miss each other. We don't see each other nearly often enough. Actually, we don't see each other hardly at all, which is a big bummer because we really get along swimmingly. So that's the gist of the trip. Because of the virus, some things were closed. Although in rural Minnesota, just like a lot of rural areas, we don't give a crap there's a virus, so we didn't see a single mask. We had masks, we wore them the first day, but we were kind of shunned a little bit. So, by the way, we're just flying around Leech Lake, if you haven't obviously noticed. So no masks anywhere. People didn't social distance. They didn't care. There were signs being like, please social distance and things because the state makes them do it, but people laughed at them. And very rural upper Midwest. People think we're a bunch of liberals here in the Midwest, but that's only here in Minneapolis. Once you leave the Minneapolis area, there's not a liberal to be found. You wouldn't dare put a Democratic sign on your car if you drove outside of the urban areas. I guess that's the most urban areas. That's why if you look at an election map, the urban areas are pretty liberal usually. The rural areas are very conservative usually. So that's what we're dealing with. So very interesting virus time. People are making a joke of it, but that's just what's going to happen when you're in boating country, Minnesota. So we felt kind of out of place there, being from a very liberal part of the country and then traveling to where they thought the virus was a joke. So I just brought that up. Why? Because I did. So anyway, here's a Leech Lake. It's a pretty big lake, but it's made up of a bunch of bays, kind of like Lake Minnetonka. So unless you're out where we are flying right now, you're pretty much in just a bunch of shallow bays. So anyway, let's start heading back because my child is antsy. Holy cow, he's antsy. Oh, I want to get a screenshot of this. Can I whip around there fast enough to get that screenshot? There we are. All right, so we need to find our way back. I'm trying to think if there's any more stories. I told some of the not so positive stuff, and then I told a lot of the positive stuff. Oh, my 12-year-old realized he loves babysitting. There were some times that with all the drama going on and exhausted parents were just like, you know what? Can you watch all the kiddos? I think there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 kids. He was the oldest. And he watched a bunch of kids, and he did amazing. Again, the capabilities of children when you make them be capable are astounding. But my part of the Gen Xers and younger don't get that as parents. They think kids are incapable. Like, I have friends that are younger than me, so they're actual, millennials, and they have kids that are 16, 17, 18 years old, and my friends treat their kids like they're still preschoolers, and it drives me insane to see my friends treat their upper teenage kids like little kids. I just can't stand it. And I'll tell them what my kids are doing and what they're capable of doing, and they think I'm the crazy one. But anyway, they must have forgotten what it was like when we were kids. It was like, here's a house key, we'll be home whenever. Here's dinner. You're 9. You can bake a cake for your own birthday. So anyway, if you're new here to the Tall Turtle channel, this is how we often roll. Story time, rambling time, kind of like vlogs while we fly. But then other videos, we'll actually talk about flying the entire time. So it's a mix here. I try not to lock myself into one style because that does get old. In fact, some of my former favorite YouTube channels I don't watch anymore because they do the exact same thing every single video. And after watching that for a year or so, it's not sustainable. I can't stand it anymore. So we have variety here. That's just how it works. All right, I think we're heading back towards the airport. Not looking at any maps or anything, just from my knowledge of the area, I'm pretty sure we're heading back to the airport. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that the weather hasn't changed. So let's click here, and it says 2987 light and variable. So we'll land on the same runway. And what's the airport elevation again? It is 1,300 feet. So what are we at now? We're slowly coming down on purpose, and we're at 5,000 feet. So 2,000 take away 5,000 is 3,000 take away 700 more. I already lost track of what I was saying. I was thinking about doing this math, reminding me my kids probably will have school from home again. Oh boy, that's exhausting. Anyway, so what do we need to do? I don't know. We need to come down stuff. We need to come down before like 1,700, 2,700 feet or so. Give or take 1,000. Looks like the airport's right in front of us. So let's come down a little more aggressively. Now we'll bring back throttles a little bit. I would like to do a straight in landing instead of having to go around. So let's come over here. Keep an eye on our altitude. Keep an eye on our speed. Very simple. As soon as we hit the white arc, we'll start putting flaps down and we'll land. No crosswind landing or anything. This is as simple as flying an airplane in the simulator gets. I mean, even a real world weather on, and it's still very simple. So that's all there is to it. Completely VFR. We haven't done a truly VFR flight like this in a very long time, so this is fun. And I did rambling. It's been a long time since I rambled. And where's orientation on that runway? It's going to be the same as a heading bug because our heading bug didn't change. So there's our runway direction right there. Otherwise, rambled, told stories, overshared, which I normally don't do, but well, in my regular life, I normally don't overshare, but on this channel, I probably do. But that's just how we fly. Did the 1,000 subscriber thing, and my child is busy talking to his best friend via Fortnite. In fact, that's a quick sad story. My friend, or my son, and his friend were gonna have a sleepover. So we have pods. Okay, so what we do because of the virus is we have pods of friends where all the kids hang out with, and only them, and only each other. So there's like 7 or 8 kids total. They have only been seeing each other for the past like month once the state opened up a little bit, and they do pretty good with it. So only the same kids in a pod. They don't see anybody else. The parents don't see anybody else. Blah blah blah. So we've been having kids hang out because for their own mental health. So it's been working out great. So my point is they were supposed to have a lateover where the kid stays late. And they're all excited to play Fortnite and all this stuff. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the mom just shows up and says, okay, come home now. And they're young, so they were absolutely... their worlds were shattered. I felt badly for them. We have some families that have interesting ways of handling things. I won't get into it too much, but very different. Like, yeah. I won't say much more than that, but yeah, very interesting. So I felt very badly for those kids because they had this whole evening planned together and then not happening. Then another kid is at a birthday party again within the pod. So that's just how we're doing it. And And basically it's been the same pod of friends for 2 years, so nothing's really had to change. It's been really kind of nice. The downside to that, though, is if the one kid is hanging out with another and another wasn't invited, because no one should be expected, not everybody should be expected to be invited to everything every time. That's not how the world works. But when you're younger, you feel left out, even though there's no ill intention. And that's the downside of the pod thing. But the kids are learning. You gotta have, have to have issues to learn things, right? You hear my kid laughing, he probably won Fortnite. He's 9 and he wins Fortnite pretty much every time. It's ridiculous. So all of you gamers out there in your mom's basements, when you're losing to Fortnite, you're losing to my 9-year-old. We're coming in hot, and I don't care. I was too busy talking. We're coming in no flaps, too. No, go around. I was so busy talking and wasn't watching my speed. I'm like, my glide slope is perfect. Yeah, except we were going way too fast. But we're doing a go-around, which I never do. So there we go. Flaps are already up. Let's just do a go-around. We don't even need to reset our heading bug because we know that. So we know the direction or the orientation of the runway. So once that 33 gets 90 degrees off, or 32 gets 90 degrees off, we know we're doing a crosswind leg. So here's your crosswind leg. Fly out this way a moment. Try not to gain your altitude too much. And let's do a downwind leg. So we're going to turn until that heading bug is straight down. And we're about there. We're at 36, 5, 4, 33. Roll out to 32. There we go. Now we're doing a perfect downwind leg. If we look left and we stick our head down, see, downwind leg. Watching your altitude. Don't climb too much. Bring back throttles a little bit. We will continue on this heading until the runway gets behind our shoulder, which will be in just a moment here. And watch our altitude, because we only want to be 500 above at this point, and 1300 plus 5 is 1800, and we are at 1840, so we're 40 feet too high. Let's come down. Now let's make our crosswind leg, and let's shrink our head a little bit so that we can, whoa, I hit the wrong button when I was trying to I was trying to move the view down, and instead I pushed the airplane down. There we go. Don't want to get too low. See, now we're going to fly right by it. So here we go. Recover. There we go. Nose up to slow down. First set of flaps. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Nose down to keep our speed. Throttle so we don't descend. Although we do want to descend. No, this is where we want to be. There we go. That was going so well until I hit the wrong button, and I must have hit something on the keyboard that was equivalent to point down, because that's what happened. Okay, second set of flaps. We're going to do 2 sets of flaps for this. Completely visual landing. And nose down to keep our speed up, but throttle so that we don't slow down, or so we don't descend too much. And we probably wouldn't have passed the check ride on this one. But we wouldn't have been talking about such personal things either. So, here we go. Nice and slow. No wind to worry about. Aim for those numbers, but don't land short. And once we cross, we'll bring throttles back to idle, and we're going to tease that stall horn. Nope. Oh gosh, that was terrible landing. What a freaking bummer. Really? I had a terrible landing in the default Cessna. Oh well, that's okay. That's probably my karma for talking too much. Anyway, those of you who are still watching the video, it was a 19-minute and 5-second flight time. Arg. Anyway, let's just pull off of here somewhere. If we can see where the taxi lines should be. Flaps are in. We are not going to watch a replay of that landing. I should have gone sterile, and I think you're supposed to go sterile. Is it... Shoot, I just heard a new number. Is it 500 feet AGL, 1,000 AGL, or maybe it's even 1,500 AGL or something in there. You're like required to be sterile anyway, except for necessary communication on the radio. So if I would have shut my trap like I was supposed to, that probably would have been a great landing, but I screwed up. Alrighty, we have a long taxi back through this grass, so I'm just going to pop out here, and I will... Actually, wait a second. Let's try to turn off some light. Turn on the taxi lights, and nav off, and landing off, and fuel pump off, and pitot heat off, and where are we? Yep, we're way off. Holy cow, we got some speed. Alrighty, I'm going to get on this pavement here and we'll meet up again and shut this thing down. Alrighty, let's stop over here where we started and they will dolly us around and point us in the right direction. Just don't clip that wing. Alright, let's stop here, hop inside and set the parking brake. And I dropped my checklist. Oh, where are you? There you are, checklist. Alright. Man, my kid upstairs is excited about something. Alright, hop down here. Taxi lights off. Avionics off. Fuel cut off. Like so. Strobe and beacon off. Magnetos off. Battery alternator off. And open the door from our head down below. There we go. Very simple shutdown. Oh, I guess Austin wants to go back to his resting place as well. There you go, Austin. Alright, let's hop outside. Alrighty, thank you for flying with me today. It's been a long time since I've had such in-depth story time, so hopefully you enjoyed it. Those of you who hate when I talk, sorry. I have, for every complaint about my talking, I have 30 that want more. So I'm going to do. Thank you for watching, whichever side of the fence you're on. And I have a whole bunch of subscriber requests coming up, although I have one flight I'm going to do, because the subscriber requests are pretty big flights, actually. So I have a few short ones I'm going to try to sneak in before I get to those. So I'm going to get to planning. And, yeah, if you are, let's do my original sign-off from 4.5 years ago. If you are a big subscriber, thank you for your continued support. If you found my accent, please like, please subscribe, please share with your friends. If you have any flight requests, put them in the comments below. If you have any requests in general, airplanes you want me to check out, scenery you want me to check out, etc., cold and dark videos, let me know. That's where I get most of my subscribers are from those videos. So don't be afraid to comment. And if you have anything you want to say that I do wrong, please tell me, because then I make those corrections if possible. Remember, we can only do what the simulator allows us to do. So if you're a real pilot for a certain airplane and you don't like the way it started up, I appreciate it. I'm probably already aware of it, but we do what we can with what the simulator offers. And good timing. I have a parent of one of my children's friends texting me. So with that, that's it. We'll see you next time.